Hey, I'm Eva Rose, and the World Cup is over, which I'm really sad about because it was super fun, but at least I got the outcome I was looking for. I'm so happy that Spain won. My jersey smells really bad because it's been in my hamper because I wore it a few days ago, and today I'm going to be talking about my World Cup experience, but my dog's in here, so if you hear some sniffing around, that's him. Me and my family just had a lot of fun with the World Cup. We were rooting for Spain from the start. My dad has been a Spain fan for a long time, and we're really happy that they won. They definitely deserved it. We weren't really planning to go to any of the games, but after Spain won the quarterfinal, my cousin was over and she and my dad were just like looking at tickets. We were like, oh my god, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. My dad ended up booking a trip for me, my brother, and him to go to Dallas to watch the semifinal game, which was a very spontaneous decision. But obviously we had known that we'd want to go to a game, but it didn't seem that certain. And so he was like stalking prices, and he was like, all right, we can go. I'll buy the tickets and then you guys pay for your airfare. I've actually yet to give him that money, but I will. He booked the ticket, and then my cousin Alex also booked a ticket to go with us, and then her brother booked a ticket like super last minute, and he basically was just in Texas for the game and then he had to come back immediately for work the next morning. My little sister was really sad when she found out that we were going to the game without her, but she stayed back with my mom and the dogs because there was really no point for them to come because it was like a hard travel situation and they just probably wouldn't have enjoyed it as much. Sorry, Blitzen's whining because he's not allowed outside and my mom's in the pool. My little sister gave me, it was cute, the night before when I was packing, she came into my room and she brought me like all of her little mini skincare and lotion and everything, and I took like her hand sanitizer, her tissues, I took like her skincare because my skincare is not really travel size. So we left to the airport at like 3 a.m. Me and my brother had basically just slept 2 hours and our flight was at 6 a.m. I think. Oh, so she gave me a like sleep mask slash like head cushion for the plane, but it was really funny because it's like a pig's face. I had that on the entire flight. I don't know, I didn't feel like I was sleeping, but I guess I was. We landed in Dallas in what felt like no time, and I was kind of stressed because originally when my dad booked the tickets, he was like, pack super light because we're not gonna have time to go to the hotel before the game. We're just gonna go straight to the stadium, which I was like, what do you even mean? Because then I can't bring anything because stadiums are so strict about what you bring. I guess he was just saying that our check-in wasn't until later in the day, but me and my mom were like, hotels usually let you drop off your luggage to the people at the front desk and they like hold on to it if your check-in's later. We were like, we're definitely gonna bring bags. We were only going for a night, but still like I wanted to bring. So we did bring luggages. I was just scared that I wouldn't be able to freshen up and like my stomach was hurting. But when we got to the hotel, they actually had our room ready. So I was very grateful that I got to like use the bathroom and not rush and do my skincare and my makeup and like freshen up and everything. Cause we literally wore like the outfits we were gonna wear to the stadium on the plane. I think we left literally at 10 a.m. and the game was at 2 o'clock Dallas time. So we Ubered to the stadium and went in because we wanted to like see our seats and just extend the amount of time that we would be in the stadium basically. And that stadium is really nice, really beautiful. We were saying like it does not compare to MetLife at all. Our seats were surprisingly really nice. We were right behind the goal. It was really fun because we got to see Spain score in that goal during the first half, and yeah, I was really happy with our seats. I don't know, honestly, looking at the field, I've been to soccer games before, like professional games, but for some reason, being on like such a low level with the field, I was like, wait, this seems like the same size field that I was playing on. I guess it's just wider, but I was surprised that it looked kind of small. but I know once you're running out there, it doesn't seem small at all. We were like the first people to go into our section, but it was actually nice. And I didn't order any food because I'd gotten food at the hotel, but my dad and my brother ordered some food, and we mostly just like waited because we wanted to see the teams warm up. Yeah, honestly, we were just enjoying the experience. Although I felt so tired in the moment, I was still very excited and like the energy was very high. But the French fans seemed so sure that they would win this game. It was all kind of evenly dispersed, the fans, but in our area we were on France's side. For the first half we didn't get to see Spain warm up that close, but it was still really cool to see. And France arrived first to the stadium, and we were just like watching them warm up and everything. And then Spain arrived a little bit later, and it was really cool getting to pick out the players and just like see them in person. Yeah, it was just definitely a core memory for me, and definitely for my dad and my brother.
Welcome to the semifinals.
And the game itself, I was feeling super tense. I don't know why, like something has overcome me this World Cup specifically, that I was very into the games. And even for teams like Mexico and like Morocco that I wasn't like super duper rooting for, during their games I would start like yelling, and I don't know, my energy was very like tuned into it. The game itself was super fun because we definitely dominated over France. So it was an exciting game for Spain. The French fans were pretty low energy, but we were having a good time. We got to see Oyarzabal take his penalty. And he got it in, so that was very exciting. I got to like film that up close. Lamine Yamal scored, but it didn't count. I think it was offsides, but when he scored, I literally screamed. was so shocked though when they put Timothy Chalamet on the Jumbotron, because I just was not expecting him to be there. And I had an obsession with Timothy in the past, like when I watched Little Women and Call Me By Your Name like years ago, but he is an artist that I'm fond of, so I was just really surprised to see him there. But it makes sense because France was playing. And I was also so sad because I just watched, like a few days ago, your mom Ashley posted that she was at that game and she was like on the field level. So I'm so shocked that I didn't see her. I mean, I didn't really have my eyes peeled for her, but I would have been so happy to meet her. And I knew she was going to a lot of the games, but for some reason I didn't realize that she was going to that one.
The final score is France 0 and Spain 2.
We ended with 2 goals only, but it should have been like 3 or 4, honestly, like based on the skill discrepancy. But we were still very happy with the outcome. And while we were at the game, we FaceTimed my abuelo and like my cousins, but it was just so loud in there that you couldn't really hear anybody. We had a lot of fun, and after the game we spent some time taking pictures, and my cousin was seated in the section like right next to ours, so we walked over. We were just reveling in the energy of the win. Unfortunately, the Spanish team did not run to our side when they were doing like sprints at the end or just like for applause, but we still got a pretty good view of them and we're happy to be there to support. After the game, we wanted to go get some Texas barbecue, because it was each of our first time in Texas, but it was still cool to see Texas. I have definitely seen more of different countries than I've seen of my own country, which I honestly feel good about. I have gained so much from my foreign travel experiences, but at the same time, I do want to know my country and be able to see the beauty in it as well, which I already do, but for a lot of years I kind of like brushed off seeing like most of the states here. I still wanted to see like the big ones that everybody has on their list, but I kind of would brush off certain places as just not really aligning with the type of person that I am, not really seeing value to going to those places. But I think I'm coming back to a place where I want to see all the states. Texas does have me intrigued. I really wanted to go to the downtown Dallas area, but after our day, we were just too exhausted that we went back to the hotel and went to bed. It was still cool to see, although we didn't see much. And we went to a barbecue called Hutchins. When we got there, I honestly like wasn't that hungry or anything, but I still ordered food, and we all like majorly overestimated the amount of food we would eat. And I got a half pound of brisket, 3 pork ribs, a side of mac and cheese, and a side of pickles. I was gonna get coleslaw, but then I was scared about the whole cyclospora. Hopefully pickles were a safer option. Once I took a bite of that shit, I was kind of amazed because of how good it was. We all tried to eat the best that we could, but that's filling food, and I just should not have ordered that much. It was really delicious, and I didn't even have room for the dessert, which I heard is really good. Afterwards, we went back to the hotel, and my dad just like immediately passed out on the bed. But I tried to do a little bit of journaling and called my mom, called my grandma. we all like showered, and I went to bed by 9:30, which I haven't done in I don't even know how long. It was just one of those days that feels like it's just like the perfect time to go to sleep. I also had like a throbbing headache, so I just needed to go to sleep immediately. The next morning, I naturally woke up at like 7 a.m. Dallas time. Got up, got ready, and headed to the airport again to go home. It was so funny though, because all of the people, or like it seemed like most of the people on our flight to Dallas were going to the game, because most people were wearing either like Spain or Barcelona jerseys and France jerseys. Yeah, and on the flight back, it was really funny because my dad recognized this guy sitting in our area who was Luis Rubiales. I don't know what his position was called, but worked for like the Spanish Association. I'll look it up right now, actually. He was the president of the Royal Spanish Football Federation, and he was a former professional player. So he is the guy who, there was like a big scandal because he kissed one of the players of the Spanish women's national team. I'm pretty sure that's who it was, and he kissed her on the lips when they won. So super inappropriate. And yeah, there were lots of FIFA officials on our flight because the final was in New Jersey, so it worked out pretty well for us. We ended up finding out that Spain was staying in Montclair, New Jersey at this hotel. We decided that we wanted to go check it out, see if we could see them in passing or whatever. My cousin wanted to do the same, so the day before the final, we went to Montclair and had a little day out there. It was really fun. I mean, we went without wearing Spanish memorabilia because we didn't know what the situation would be, like if we could somehow go into the hotel and like eat at the hotel restaurant or whatever and like play it off. But when we got there, the security was just like super tight and they had bought out the entire hotel. Yeah, we did not have much luck, obviously, because it was the day before their game, and there was like a handful of fans, a good amount, but not like overwhelming amount. It was kind of confusing because this hotel has several doors, so we were kind of just thinking like, if one of them were to be going out, like which door would they go through? Yeah, it was kind of a bad day to go because they were obviously like resting and deep in thought, but we just like hung out at the hotel. My mom made friends with the security guards, and we were standing by like the garage area, and two black SUVs came out, and one of them had what looked like a player in it, but the windows were tinted, and he was like buckling his seatbelt as he went by, so we couldn't see his face. And then an assistant coach came out. I don't know his name, but he waved at us and was really nice. We were trying to get info from people, but everyone was just like, yeah, we don't know, like we're just hanging out. And then we went to go eat dinner at this Spanish restaurant right next to the hotel. It was really pretty inside, and it was festive, obviously, and they had on the game between France and England, which was nice to watch. Yeah, the food was good. We started with like a platter of dates, manchego cheese, a green apple cut up, gamas al ajillo, patatas bravas. We got empanadas de carne. My sister got a kid's steak, and we all split a churrasco. As we were in there eating, they were preparing like super big trays of food, and my mom and my cousin had to ask like, oh my god, is that going to the team? Because we knew that they were staying in and catering food, and that's what we had heard, and the family members had gone into the hotel, and the employees were like, yeah, it's for the players. So that was cool. We ate at the same place as them. And then the security guard said that the night prior, people were waving into the hotel like at dinner time because there's like a window in the dining hall or something like that. So we headed back to the hotel to see if we could see them eating dinner or anything, but we couldn't. So we like walked across the street, and eventually we looked up at the roof and realized there were people on the roof, and since the hotel was bought out by the Spanish team, it had to be players or family members or associates. So we were looking up there trying to like distinguish if we recognized anyone, but it was on like the 8th floor, so it was kind of difficult. But they ended up looking down and like waving at us, and my sister swears that one of them was Lamine Yamal. And I don't know, in press videos and stuff, I always see him like give a thumbs up, and one of these guys gave a thumbs up, so it's possible. A lot of the family members of the players were coming out of the hotel at this point, so we were just like chilling across the street, like looking, and then all of a sudden we were just like pelted with rain, and everyone just like flocked to like the storefronts, and we like pulled out our umbrellas and got soaked, and my earring fell out as I was running, and then I had to go back and look for it. And then when we looked back at the roof, obviously they'd all run off, and we weren't sure if the storm would get bad, so we headed home. I don't know where I sit on the ethics of like celebrity stalking, although I don't know, I'm obviously not a threat or anything, but I know that in their spot it must be pretty strange. And I like being like a fan, or just like I like supporting people, but I wouldn't say that I have like crazy like fan energy, or like I don't think I'm amazed by celebrity itself, but select people that I admire, I would love to like meet by chance or whatever. Like this is the first time I've done something like this, but my dad, I don't know what year it was, but my dad like drove with the Spain bus and like stayed at the same hotel as them, and he and my mom and my godmother and her husband, they all like on game day to their hotel and like took pictures with them and everything. So I do think it's a fun tradition, and obviously it must feel good for the team to have like support and just see people that are out there like supporting them. Like we did not have to dig for the address at all, like everybody knew basically because of social media, which is also kind of like I was kind of peeved because there were a handful of people there with Argentina jerseys, and I mean, I've grown up loving Messi, but I don't know, just giving like douchey energy to go to the hotel of the team you're not supporting to like. Anyway, we had made the plan that my cousin, my sister, and I would go the following morning, like the morning of game day, to try to see if we could see them, but little did we know that it would be a million times more packed, which I guess is obvious, but we honestly should have gone way earlier if we wanted to get a good view, because there were way more policemen this day, and it was just a lot more strict, and you had to stand like in the barricades if you were gonna wait. I also really hate being associated or like in proximity to mob mentality. I guess that's how you would describe it, just like these moments when big groups of people kind of lose their composure and act out of character, or it's kind of like everyone for themselves, and people become kind of selfish and kind of like, I don't know, I don't really like environments like that, and I guess I take myself too seriously to act like that, or I just find it embarrassing to be like that. So I did try to like get a good spot and stuff because my sister really wanted to see the players and everything. The cops were just being such assholes, which obviously I want them to secure the space, and like I want the players to be super safe and not have any bad experiences, but also like threatening to arrest people like me is a little crazy, I think.
Move the cars,
Yeah.
so they're gonna have to stop them. The cars.
By the time that they were coming out, I had fully like separated myself from the group of people waiting and kind of just like walked to the end of the street, because at that point they'd closed off the entire street and I was like, I don't really want to be a part of that. Like, I don't need to see them walk by me that badly.
Double yellow. Hey bro, don't let. They gotta be behind the double yellow.
Let's get some clearance, please.
These cops are blue.
Yeah, that was him. Because he wears a backwards cap.
Me and my sister stood at the end and I was like, all right, Elise, so when they come by, let's like wave to them and send them good energy, be happy to be there, and send them off to the field.
Probably.
Oh, afterwards, my cousin asked people at the front of the barricade if they could like airdrop their videos to us, just because we wanted to see them. And it's kind of funny how stuff works like that nowadays, where you could just get the video of the person standing at the front and you don't even need to do it yourself, and then if you were to post that to social media, people would just assume that you're the one that got the video. But anyway, I did enjoy seeing the video and seeing them walk out like up close, but they all seemed pretty locked in, like they didn't really acknowledge the fans, which we knew was gonna happen. After that, we went to this Puerto Rican coffee shop right up the street, which was really cute, and they had really good options. I just got a dulce de leche latte. It was really yummy. And when we were near the front of the barricade, we were like outside of it, but we were trying to see if the cops would allow us to like sit on the curb and wait. But while we were there, one of the Spanish officials or whatever came out and handed out these keychains. Me and my sister both got one, and they're really cute, and I put it on my jean loop. I don't know, what would you call that? Yeah, I guess the loop of my jean. Yeah, it's just like a fun memento to have. It's funny, I think my sister used to say cheek cane, and so we've all kind of started calling them that. But yeah, that day was super fun, and then we drove back to my house to watch the game. My parents had invited some people over. My dad, it's funny how loud he is during these games. And my brother is always like, shut up, because he thinks it's gonna like jinx us. But no, that game was so obvious that Argentina just could not compare to Spain's skill level. And just like their energy, the way that they played. Obviously Argentina knew that they didn't measure up, and they were playing with this sort of like shitty attitude. It was crazy that Messi barely touched the ball. It's obvious that that's not because of him being old or anything like that. It's obviously just because his team just doesn't match his skill level either. And when Ferran scored, me and my brother were both like, we were both just so happy and enthused. And yeah, it was just so exciting. I was about to like run a lap around my house and jump in the pool, but then I was like, no, that's actually so cringe. It ended the way that it should have ended, basically. But I was just so stressed because it was obvious that Spain was so much better than Argentina, but I was like, we still probably would have won, but it just leaves so much up to chance when during the game it's still, there's a bit of chance that goes into it, but it's way more in Spain's control. I also was feeling so terrible during this game because I had only eaten a banana that morning, and when I have coffee or anything caffeinated on an empty stomach, I get so just like nauseous and anxious and just like lose my appetite. So I'd had that whole latte, and then also probably because I was nervous about the game and I didn't sit down the entire game. I was just standing looking at the TV. I was waiting until the game ended, or just like it being secure for me to eat. But I did have a few things. From the start of the World Cup, it wasn't like obvious that Spain would win. Like obviously my family, we knew what Spain was capable of. This whole time, my dad and my brother have been just like so sure that Spain would win, but most people were betting on like France and stuff like that. And after the game, we just hung out. A lot of people left, and my family mostly went in the pool, and I just like sat with my feet in. I was feeling super inspired, but at the same time that night I was feeling kind of bittersweet because I don't know, I felt like there was such a buildup of momentum and just like tension and anticipation, and then that was it. It's like, okay, they won, and I didn't really like celebrate or anything, which I would have liked to, but it was still a really great night. And yeah, as I said, I was feeling so inspired and honestly emotional. I was feeling kind of emotional at the hotel too. I don't know, it just hits me in a place that is different than the other aspects of my life. And I kind of, in that moment, although it wasn't me that won the World Cup, I felt like I could do anything in that moment, or just like I felt like I was in proximity to greatness. And when you're in proximity to greatness, you also want to be great, or you want to aid the continuation of the greatness, or you just like want to uphold these, I guess I scratched myself there, or you want to uphold these standards of greatness. And I don't know, it just makes you want to do better, doesn't it? I haven't really been part of fandoms that much in my life, but it is such a fun part of culture to be a fan. and to have people to root for, which I feel like I haven't really had in some time, because obviously it's not good to keep people on a pedestal. It's awesome to root for people and to recognize greatness in other people, or to recognize other people's accomplishments and cheer them on, and yeah, just be inspired by people. So I feel like that's really what the World Cup gave me. I was planning anyway to kind of pick up soccer again. Not seriously, obviously, but at least be like juggling in the backyard. And I really want to join a pickup league, but I don't think there's any in my area for like people my age. My dad wants me to join his men's league. We'll see about that. It was pretty interesting though to see when the team got back to Spain and they had their big kind of like parade celebration. Ferran was wearing a hat that said "Make Spain Great Again." I don't know, when I saw it immediately, I thought that he was kind of being ironic and like joking, because I don't know, that's obviously what mine mind goes to immediately. With all the shit that Trump's been saying about Spain being terrible, and then Spain wins the World Cup, it seems ironic to wear a hat that says "Make Spain Great Again," as though it's like ironic. You're saying "Make Spain Great Again," but it is great and it has been great. Or just as like a silly joke of like, I don't know, wearing that cap and saying, I don't know though, because online I've just been seeing so much debate on it, and I know that a lot of people in Spain support Trump, which is scary to me, but I feel like there might be kind of just like a disconnect of understanding the reality of Trump's actions and policies. I don't know, a lot of people just discounting how serious it is, maybe just because of how memeified he's been on a global level. Part of me thinks that Ferran hasn't realized that he is such a big villain, or he's making fun of him. Ferran might not be political either way, or he really does support him and like knows about his policies and everything, which is the answer that I don't want, but it's not always about me. Yeah, I don't know, that just made me think, and I'd love to know what he meant by it. Yeah, I just feel excited about life. I feel healthily motivated by Spain winning the World Cup to do the things that I've dreamed of doing and to have goals for myself. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed hearing about my World Cup experience, and I really enjoyed just talking about it. I like to commemorate these moments in my life by usually just writing them down on paper, but I really like capturing my thoughts through video as well. I know I'll definitely look back at this video and treasure this month for years and years to come. So I appreciate your listening ear, and talk soon.